Hello everyone, and this is What If Deku Was the Reincarnation of Escanor Part 3. So, let's continue with the story. After All Might jumping away in search of the Divine Axe Rita, we'll time skip to the day of the entrance exam, with Deku arriving at the front gate of UA High School. Deku saying, UA High School. Better not disappoint me. But you will. Deku, after saying that, would have continued to enter UA High School, as the written portion of the entrance exam would have been the same, with Deku basically getting the same score as he did in the anime. Now, for the practical exam, things are of course different. Now, we'll continue at the point where President Mike is presenting basically how the practical exam is going to work. With Ida being the same as the anime, he would have stood up and basically yelled at President Mike, saying that he didn't explain what the last robot is, which is the zero pointer. Him also pointing at Deku, saying that his aura is scaring everyone around him. Along with that, Deku is also getting recognized by the ones behind him, since the reporters did took a picture of Deku's back, and the resemblance are very alike. So yeah. Deku, hearing Ida's words, he would have just responded with, "For someone as small as you to shout at me, who's above you, how bold." Ida, hearing this, would of course be confused. Deku, standing up as he will continue saying, "Other than this transaction, you've also interrupted President Mike, who was about to explain the final robot. How premature of you to interrupt someone who is not done talking about the topic you're about to question." As after saying that, Deku would have just sit back down, and before Ida can say anything, President Mike would have just thanked Deku and continue his presentation. Now, after the presentation, Deku would have walked over to the place where he is going to take his practical exam, and when he arrived, he would have saw Ida there as well, to which Deku just ignores. Him just standing at the back of the crowd and basically waiting, as whenever the gate opened, everyone would have charged in except for Deku. And when President Mike questioned Deku why he's not entering the exam area, Deku would have just replied with, "Because this way they will not have any excuse when I beat them and get first place." As after, let's say, a minute of Deku standing in place, he would have finally walked into the exam area. And whenever he did, well, he destroyed every single robot in front of him with just one punch, if not melting them just by walking past them. And while doing all of that, Deku would of course not break a sweat. Heck, he doesn't even need to use Kuruzan, not once. And just by punching robots and melting them in the vicinity of him, Deku had already beaten All Might's record. And whenever Deku did break All Might's record, that was when the zero pointer would have basically appeared. As whenever it did appear, Deku would have heard someone shouting for help. Him, being Deku, would have of course went over there to see what happened, even though he is in his daytime mode, and or daytime form. Now, whenever Deku arrived, he would have of course saw Uraraka being trapped under some rubble. Him having to immediately go over there and try to help her, since not only was her trapped under some rubble, she was about to be stepped on by the zero pointer. and to the shock of everyone, including the teachers, in the blink of an eye, Deku would have appeared right next to Uraraka and, well, holding up the zero-pointer's feet and or leg, whatever. Deku asking, My, are you hurt?
No, I don't think so. I'm just tired.
Ah, no worries. Are you still able to walk? Or even run?
Yes, I think so.
Good, then I advise you to run along now. Because this is no longer a kid's playground.
Cool!
As Deku, using his left hand, he would have thrown the zero-pointer off balance, it having to fall back and fall onto the ground. Deku, after that, would have said, Good thing there's no one behind it. Him turning over to Uraraka, Deku would have picked up every single rubble and or rock that was on Uraraka. Him, after doing that, would have helped Uraraka to get back on her feet. Him saying, Now, like I said, run along now.
Thanks, but what about you?
There is no need for you to worry for me. Now, go, before you get hurt. As after saying that, Deku would have just jumped up high in the air. Him looking down and seeing Uraraka running away, he would have said, Good, now no one should be able to get hurt from this attack. I never thought I would have to use this today, but this giant robot has exceeded my expectations. Well done, UA High School. Deku, after saying that, he would have lifted up his right hand and basically his index finger. As well, you know what happened next. Cruel sun. Deku, after creating a small sun, he would have said that and point his finger towards the zero-pointer, with that sun also going at the zero-pointer. Now, whenever that cruel sun hit the zero-pointer, it would have exploded, and basically disintegrating the entire zero-pointer. And just as Deku landed on the ground, the practical exam would have ended. Along with that, everyone who saw Deku's attack would have basically surrounded him, saying that he was so cool and how strong he is, and also asking some questions, I guess. However, Deku, not paying attention to those who surround him, he would have just jumped up in the air again, and this time going back home. However, while he's still in the air, Deku would have gotten a call, and when he picked up, it was All Might. All Might telling Deku to meet him at Takuba Beach, saying that Deku needs to keep his word and or keep his promise. Deku being a bit confused, he would have just went to Takuba Beach, and whenever he did, he would have saw basically some All Might there, or just All Might in his skinny form. Deku asking for what All Might means on the phone, as All Might would have just shown Deku a picture, with that picture being a real Divine Axe Rita. All Might, after showing that picture to Deku, he would have continued explaining that Divine Axe Rita was a relic from the past and was found in a temple. However, whenever it was found, there were no entries and or context of what it is made of, how it is made, and what it is for. Which is why, with the passing of time, everyone just forgot about this axe. But luckily, All Might found it, and with his fortune, he basically bought the axe, and now it is being shipped to Japan. Deku, hearing this, he would of course been thrilled, since now he can become even more powerful. But that was when All Might would have reminded Deku of his promise. Deku saying, Ah yes, about that. how am I going to inherit One for All? All Might, pulling out a hair, he would have said, "Eat this." Deku, being in daytime form, he would have said, "No, I will not. It is humiliating and disgusting." All Might saying, "But to inherit One for All, you need to consume a piece of my DNA." "Oh, if that's the case, then I would rather drink your blood than eat your hair, All Might. Since you're always spitting out so much blood when you transform back into your skinny form, I believe it would be fairly easy for me to just get a sample of your DNA there. Along with that, I will only drink it when it comes out of a jar, not from your hand. It is already gross enough for me to drink blood. I will not drink it from your hand." Now, after this, Deku would have just basically went back home. And the next day, All Might would have called him to Takoba Beach again. This time, he gave Deku a jar of his blood, basically. Not like a big jar, but just like a tiny cup. Deku, drinking All Might's blood, he would have told All Might that he doesn't feel any different. All Might just saying that it would take some time for Deku's body to consume his DNA. So basically, be patient. As the day after, Deku, waking up, he would have been the same as always, being in daytime form. And, well, very strong. But whenever it was nighttime, Deku would have felt that he's stronger than usual, since he still retained some of the muscle from daytime. Deku thinking, is this All Might's quirk, One for All? I should at least learn how to use this, right? Deku, after thinking that, he would have activated One for All in his left hand, him thinking, "Whoa, now that's weird." As before Deku can do anything else, he would have deactivated One for All, since he thinks that he might either accidentally destroy his home or, well, hurt himself. Which is why Deku would have told Inko that he's going out for a nighttime jog, which Inko is a bit surprised by, since Deku never actually trains at night. But Inko would of course let Deku go out and have his nighttime jog, since whenever Deku becomes a hero, which he of course will, he would have nighttime jobs and or nighttime patrols. So she would of course allow Deku to go out and have his nighttime jog. As whenever Deku left his home, he would have basically went over to the station and went to basically the place where he trained for Sunshine, and or the mountain that he trained at to train Sunshine. Now, whenever Deku arrived, he would have tried to use One for All. Deku just focusing and activating One for All on his left pinky, since Deku is very scared of using One for All. He would have activated it and basically flick his pinky. And when he did, well, he broke his pinky. Along with that, he basically shot a gust of wind from his pinky and destroyed multiple trees. Deku, while he's grunting in pain, he would start to basically wonder how he can control One for All. Him saying,
Ah, damn it. I knew it. I knew this was a bad idea. Well, I guess this is just pain tolerance training, I guess. But still, I can't do this to every single part of my body. That was 100% right. What about 50%?
Deku, holding out his left ring finger, he would have tried to basically tune the power of One for All to 50%, which he sort of does. and when he flicks his ring finger, well, crack, nope. His finger got broke again. Him shouting,
Ah, come on, not my second one. Ah, well, was that a little bit less painful? I can't tell. But at least the second finger didn't break as many trees as the first. Let's try to lower it a bit more. Actually, never mind. Let's lower it to the lowest.
as Deku would have activated One for All in his left middle finger at the lowest point that he can, which was 0.5%. As when Deku flicks his middle finger, it did blow out a wind pressure, but it's just not very impressive. It didn't even break one tree. However, at least Deku's middle finger is not broken. Well, it is not broken, but it is bruised. Deku saying,
Ah, damn it. I knew I was weak at night time, but not this weak. Gosh, I need to get stronger at night.
By the way, if you're wondering how Deku managed to control One for All and or turn the percentage of One for All up and down so easily, it's because he used the method of himself controlling the heat around his body at daytime. Now, back with Deku. Deku, using his right hand, he would have took out his phone and called All Might, as whenever he did, he would have told All Might that he broke two of his fingers and bruised one of them whenever he was trying to use One for All, and asking All Might if he could help, to which All Might of course said yes. With Deku giving his location to All Might would have arrived at Deku's location within, let's say, 2 minutes. And after arriving, Deku would have been taken by All Might to Recovery Girl, where she would kiss Deku and revert Deku back to normal. As I believe that this will be a good place to end this part. If you guys want part 4 to What If Deku Was the Reincarnation of Escanor, then help me reach, let's say, 35 likes on this video. If it does, then I'll record and post the part 4 of this What If as fast as I can. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and have a nice day.